All right, let's connect here up on the YouTube live stream coming at you July 2nd, 2023, 4th of July weekend. Yesterday was Canada Day, I believe, so if you celebrate that, I'm in the United States, so I celebrate 4th of July coming up in 2 days, obviously. Today is July 2nd. So we're going to talk about the Walking Dead universe, Dead City, anything else you want to talk about, I guess the Daryl Show production, the Daryl Show trailer, some different stuff that just going around, some other shows that we watch and we talk about on there as well. So I wasn't able to do a live stream last Sunday. I apologize for that, but I will always post in the comment section, like on the channel, if I'm going to do a live stream or if I'm not going to do a live stream. If I post, I'm not going to post if I am, because I usually expected to do one on Sundays from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully you guys are doing well, safe, and going to be okay this weekend into next week. Going to hopefully off for 4th of July on Tuesday. Thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I missed you guys last Sunday. Like I said, I missed it because of just some stuff going on. Next weekend will be a little iffy as well. I got one more thing going on next weekend, and then after that, I don't think anything else is going on. But like I said, I will post in the, I guess, on the channel in the comment section of, it's like when you create a post there, I will say if I'm not doing a live stream, if there is no post, there will be a live stream for it. But hopefully you guys are safe and sound. I'm One Eye Bri, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe. So Dead City, 3 episodes in. If you watched it on AMC Plus or other ways, tonight is the 3rd episode on AMC of Dead City. And overall, I've enjoyed it. I thought it's a good series. It's not a great series. It's entertaining. To me, Negan is carrying the show. Negan is, 75% of the show, in my opinion, because Maggie could be interchanged, but Negan is important for the Croat, Ginny, just basically so much of the story. You know, it's pretty cool to see that, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is doing, and so is Lauren Cohan, and all the acting is pretty good so far, but it's awesome too. So Michael Singer says, I am Negan. Constipated in Sin City says, hey PT, Thursday night we did the final Indiana Jones movie, and I was supposed to have 9 minutes to interview him, but I got 4 minutes. So you got 4 minutes to interview Harrison Ford, Constipated in Sin City, because that's amazing if you actually got to meet and interview Harrison Ford. So they're playing on Showtime, I think, the Indiana Jones movies. And when I think Indiana Jones, I automatically think Temple of Doom. I think of Short Round, and it was just on today as I was watching it this morning. And I think the best one is Last Crusade with Sean Connery. But I think the best secondary character is Short Round. And I saw Crystal Skull. That was just going off in this tangent. I haven't seen the final Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny. But I know our friends have, and some liked it, some didn't. I have a friend that likes every movie he sees. He's a huge Indiana Jones fan. So probably loved it. And the ending is probably just, I would assume the ending is like the ending for Harrison Ford to be done with Indiana Jones. And I really hope they don't do a reboot and have there was, when Shia LaBeouf was in Crystal Skull, they were talking about, if he's going to be the next Indiana Jones. And I'm really glad they didn't go that route, because I don't know anybody wants to see that. So Rob K says, I saw Dial of Destiny last night. I didn't like it. Okay, Rob, that's all right. And I'm not here to hate on. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. And there's some movies that I don't like that you may like, and I don't like, and vice versa, and all that good stuff. And it's funny because more and more people are posting in the comments, and it's good. It's a good thing. And I not just the chat, but in the videos that I post, it's always an interesting thing when people say things in the comments that it's tough to understand context. Because it's tough to understand if someone's joking or not, or if they're pissed or they're funny or they're mad or whatever it is, right? So then some people say like, I'm this or I'm that, and it's like whatever. So it's just kind of hilarious when people say a bunch of different things because they don't know how things are taken. But when I see people's comments time and time again, I can understand where they're coming from just based on the I guess, number of comments that they be. And again, it's tough to read emotion in a comment or text. It's tough to say that too. And that's what a good writer would be able to do as well. So I'm working on the next book of my series, Fight For Us. It's going to be titled Reset, and I'm pretty far along. I got a couple chapters left to edit, and then my wife's got to read it and then edit it, and then I'm going to do the final edit. And then I'm way ahead of schedule on it because I've had some extra time. But I'm excited for the 19th book of the series. And it's kind of crazy to say 19th book too. So, yeah. But overall, guys, I haven't seen really any. Oh, I did see the Transformers movie. Was it Rise of the Beasts or something, whatever it was. And I thought it was okay. I think the Transformers movies are like all the same. Like they all have to find a way to get back home. We have to find the Energon Cube to bring back so-and-so. We have to find this. And they have to go around the different cities and countries and continents and all over the place. And they got to do this. And then they have a battle with whoever is fighting them. Whether it's Scourge or if it's Megatron or if it's Starscream or if it's whoever. And it's like, it's all the same, but it's still great. You know, like it's pretty amazing every time you see them transform. It just takes me back to the cartoon. And anytime you get to see Bumblebee, it's awesome. And Bumblebee's in this movie. And you get to see, or hear, I should say, different people's voices for the different characters, even though Optimus Prime is definitely the same guy, which is awesome. I'm glad they did not recast that or do anything with that. There is an alumni of the Walking Dead universe. Coma Domingo plays Omicron. Or Unicron, or whatever his name is, Unicron. And he has a couple lines in there. He doesn't talk much. And also Peter Dinklage and Ron Perlman and a bunch of other. It's just cool to see that, some people there as well. I've talked about it. So I've been watching The Bear on Hulu. And don't worry, we're definitely going to talk about Dead City and all that good stuff too. But The Bear on Hulu, it's about a restaurant in Chicago. There's the guy from Shameless. I've only seen one episode of Shameless, and people love this guy, and he's okay. John Bernthal's in it sparingly. And in the second season, you get to see more cast, more people, and everything in there too. It's always pretty cool. And this season's different than the first season, but it's a chaotic... They're running a restaurant, and you see the chaos behind it. And I don't know if it's over-the-top dramatic or if it's really like that, and that's what the directors and the writers and the producers and all that stuff are trying to make you feel like it's like this in a restaurant. Now, I doubt every restaurant's crazy in there too, but it's definitely it's just cool to see what the big thing is behind a restaurant. And it's a little over the top, and some of the personalities are on there. And it's an interesting show on Hulu. Another show that I want to break down more, and I probably will between the hiatus when Dead City is done in the next 3 episodes, because we got 4, 5, and 6 left of Dead City, and then I don't know when the other shows are going to come back on, but there should be a little break between stuff. What's up, Muhammad? Is Silo. Silo is on Apple TV Plus, and there's actually a character in there from The Walking Dead, Avi Nash, who played Sadiq. Pretty cool. And it's an interesting story about a silo that was made to have these people inside of it. And we don't know the backstory of what's going on with this, and you're trying to figure out stuff. Every episode, they're giving you a little bit more. And it's an interesting story. Common's in it, who always plays pretty much a bad guy kind of a thing. He's good in it. Everybody's in it really good. I don't know the character's name. Her name's Juliette Bennett or something in it. But she's in Mission Impossible and a couple other movies and stuff. And she's really good. And Will Patton is good. And it's really good. Silo is a good show. I love, like I said before, I like different shows. I don't need to see the same old. And I think a lot of good shows are different. Like The Bear is different. Silo is different. The Walking Dead universe is basically different. There's a lot of good stuff out there that's coming out more and more and more. From is different. And I got to talk about From, right? So I missed it last week because it was last Sunday. So From season 2, episode 10 aired. And I don't want to give anything away if you guys haven't seen it yet. But hopefully you guys are on the From I don't know, bandwagon or express or whatever, and you enjoy it. We got some answers in the season 2 finale. Season 3 was greenlit. They should start filming supposedly this month. They plan to film in July to December. And then it'll probably be out next April, May, or whenever it came out, probably in that time. Hopefully it's 10 episodes. We get more and more answers. But I'm just excited to get more and more answers. That's kind of what I want to get out of it. You know, it's kind of like the Walking Dead universe. When they build stuff up and you have to wait 2 or 3 episodes to find out the answer. Like when Glenn was under the dumpster, and then the very next episode was not about Glenn and not finding out what happened. And did he survive? What happened with it? And you had to wait a week or 2 or whatever it was. I know you had to definitely wait at least 1 week. And, oh man, it was like, what? And when you watch a show from week to week to week to week, it's frustrating because you have to wait an entire week, and we're spoiled now, right? You know, Netflix spoiled us. We're watching different things, and you get to watch and you get to binge watch it and watch all 10 episodes in 10 hours and be done with it. And they'll be like, when's the next season? And you're like, great. Then you spoil it for everybody else. So it's just, you know, ridiculous. So, John, I did not watch Money in the Bank, but I know something happened with the Bloodline and the Usos, and, you know, Roman Reigns and stuff happened with that too. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like Roman Reigns. I like the Usos. I think John Cena showed up. I think I read that Damian Priest won Money in the Bank, but no one's really, you know, I don't really have anything really there too. Jeannie says, I got my first royalties from my books. 70 whole big cents. Hey, that's awesome, right? So Jeannie, I feel you. You know, I'm an independent person, writer myself, and I don't have a huge, you know, I don't have a publisher and all this stuff too. I do it through Amazon, and I do everything. I write it, I edit it, I make the book covers, I do all the things there too. I put it through the system, and it's everything there. So 70 cents. You got to start somewhere. But I do it as a writer, as a therapeutic outlet. Like, I know I'm not going to make millions. I'm not going to be Stephen King or anybody, James Patterson, or any of these great writers. But it's just a good outlet. And my whole thing writing my series, Fight For Us, is I want to connect in a fictional universe with, you know, my dad, my wife, my cats, you know, my in-laws, my friends, you know, just like all the different stuff that I write in there. And when I write it, I picture my dad and my wife and my friends and my this and my that. And, you know, so when I write it, I enjoy just that outlet, and I picture it when I'm writing things, you know, and hopefully it comes across. If you guys have ever read the books, I write it in a way that makes sense to me, and I picture it. And hopefully my picture is seen by other people and they can picture it too. So it's a rewarding thing. But hey, Jeannie, congrats on writing your own book and then publishing it and then actually getting paid something for it. You know, it's awesome. I have not seen the sitcom Soap. I don't know what that is. I don't really care about AEW, Jonathan Wilder, CM Punk. I don't really care much about it. I know CM Punk's on Mayans. I know that. And if you guys are watching the latest episode of Mayans, some pretty big stuff happened. It's the final season, and there's only 3 episodes left, so it'll be pretty crazy. Jack asks, how many seasons do you think Daryl's show will get? I think 3 is the plan. I think it's one of those things where Norman wanted to do 3 seasons. The first season is just Daryl. The second season that they're filming now is Carol and Daryl, obviously. And then the third season, hopefully, Daryl and Carol coming back home. I think that's the way it should be. But 3 seasons of that show is pretty amazing. It's a pretty great run. And then what they're going to do after that, I'm not sure. Will it feel like an ending for Daryl and Carol and that part of the Walking Dead universe? I really don't know. I don't know what their plan is for it. But I think at least 3 seasons for Daryl's show. Outdoor Fishing Adventures says, you just sounded like a humble person when you said that you won't be like other times. Well, thank you. I just have realistic expectations too. Like, I try. I would love to be a top author, and I would love to be a top YouTuber and a top therapist and a top husband and a top whatever. But you just got to have realistic expectations. And I just do the best I can, and I'm happy with that. And I just love, talking to you guys and being a part of this and having a fun discussion. And like I said, when I missed you guys last Sunday, it kind of bothered me too. So Jonathan Waller says, is it true Morgan is really done with the Walking Dead series? So what do you guys think? So from my understanding, I think that was Morgan's last episode of Fear the Walking Dead, unless we get a final little glimpse of where Morgan and Mo could be, which could be a minor little thing. So technically he could be in another episode, but I could see him not being seen again, or if anything, we see him again at the very end to see where he actually went. Does he see Hilltop in the distance or Alexandria or something? Most of it had to be CGI, but we'll have to see what actually happens with Lenny James's journey as Morgan, if we see him again or not. But I think he's done on Fear the Walking Dead. What do you guys think? Chris Schober, do you think Rick Grimes will come in the picture for The Walking Dead Dead City? No, I don't think Rick Grimes is going to show up at all. I think more people are likely to show up in that show than him to actually show up here. I don't think Dead City is going to be in. I don't think Dead City is going to get variant walkers, and I don't think Dead City is going to get any other cast member myself, at least right now too. So yeah. Jeannie says it's not all realistic to expect that. For every Stephen King, there's a million Jeannies and Bryce. Yeah, no, there's probably like 10 million of us, there are 100 million, but there's so many more independent lower level writers. And I was thinking about it too. Like, you could have a great song or book series or comic book or whatever channel videos, but if nobody sees them, we can't get the message out, or the story. You have to see it on there too. So the marketing and the people and the connections have to be out there for people to see it, if anything, So it's just one of those things where I do it as an outlet, and if people come along the journey and they join the fight, as I say it, I think it's a fun thing. And I also like to think about it as like, if people see that I've tried it or have done it, then you can too. Then you can try it as well. I've always thought about being a teacher, and when I had a great teacher or professor or whatever, I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be like that professor. And then when I had a bad professor or a bad teacher, I was like, I definitely want to be a teacher to get that person out of here and to do it the right way. It's annoying when you have a teacher in a class that you enjoy being in the class, but the teacher sucks, or you don't really want to be in this class and also the teacher sucks. It's a double whammy. But I think you want to have good teachers and professors and people who educate others, no matter in any way, shape, or form, so people can learn. And that's the best way to grow as an individual, as to learn too. So thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. He says, I also recently purchased your Fight For Us books and 100 Days too. Your willing is very descriptive and the story is brilliant. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. I truly appreciate that. That really makes my day. It's really one of those things where, like, when you work hard and you don't need all praise, like I don't need constant praise or anything like that too, but it's a nice thing to have kind words and support, because life is tough at times, and it's just nice to feel appreciated and people enjoy it, because I enjoy writing it, and I think I could do a better job in some areas with writing, and so I improve on it. And hopefully my writing, I would assume my writing in my first book and my most recent books have hopefully greatly improved, as in life, as in anything. I always think about riding a bike. When you get on your bike for the first time, you're probably going to fall off and you suck at it. Or maybe you're awesome at it. You get up and you pedal right away and you're doing amazing. But most of the people, I didn't. I wasn't the best bike rider when I officially started. I fell down. I got pissed. I threw my bike down. I was mad. And then I gave up on it. And then I saw other people around the neighborhood riding bikes. And I was like, you know what? I want to join them and be a part of that. So I got up and got on the bike and fell down. And I was like, no, enough of that. And then I had a family friend teach me how to ride a bike, because my dad didn't have any patience for it. So he worked with me and got better at it. And then I could ride a bike on my own, and it was great, you know? So it was kind of like a fun thing like that. And you get better at it for sure. Let me see. Jack asks, are you planning on doing some Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul videos or not? Well, not really anymore. The show's over. That series is over. But I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Don't get me wrong. And I did some Better Call Saul movie or videos. But I don't really see it really right now. Thank you, Ed. It says, PT, big fan, my guy. Got keep up. Keep out up. So keep up with it. What you're about. Take care. Glad you were live. I never get a chance with my schedule nowadays. So I'm glad you're here, Ed. I'm glad everybody can take the time, and I know it's not for everybody. Some people have, stuff on Sundays and church and this and, kids practices and whatever. I used to play soccer on Sundays, so I know what it's like on there too. So, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. Are you planning on writing more books for your series? I'd like to know what happens next. Yeah, Outdoor Fishing Adventures. I have book 19. I'm in the works right now. The book before that is Atonement. Book 19 will be Reset. And then book 20 is going to be a huge transitional book. It's going to be the end of some of the story there. But then I have plans right now. I have plans to go forward with I guess a second chapter type of thing, and then it goes from there. But I have a bunch of stuff going in ways in my mind that I want to continue with this story because I think about it all the time, and I'm just ready to keep going with it. So I definitely keep going with the story. Don't worry. There's still a lot more to tell. Jonathan Wilder, how much does all your YouTube equipment cost, if you don't mind me asking? In a few years, I'm thinking about starting a wrestling channel. You and a few others have inspired me to do so. So, and inspired you. Expired means like gone away to go out. It inspired you to do so, John. Well, I don't have the best equipment. I have the Blue Yeti microphone. This is kind of what it is. You can probably get one for like $100, maybe $120. I don't know what they are now on Amazon. You want to get a cover to go on top. You want to get the mic thing so it blocks it a little bit. Get the webcam if you want to do that stuff. But you want to get a good microphone. Or a good video camera. You can use your phone if you have a good enough phone. You want to get bigger memory. And then I use basic software for it. Like I use just the Windows Creator, like Windows Video Maker or whatever like that too. So it's a basic program, but you can go into bigger, better stuff. So you can do it, pretty cheap on there. You don't have to do that much as well. Jack's asking all these Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad universe questions. Do you think Mike Ehrmantraut died too soon? I'm not saying he should have lived at the end. No, really. I mean, he made it very far in the series, and then he had Better Call Saul. So we got to see Mike again. So Mike had both shows. Like Saul had both shows, and it was really good to see him. And I think Mike was, an awesome character for sure. Outdoor Fishing Adventures. Are Kyle and Ryan ever going to encounter each other at some point? I don't want to give that away, Outdoor Fishing Adventures, but definitely, I don't know. Let me know what book you're on right now in the Fight For Us series, because I don't want to give anything away, but let me know what book you're on, and then all I can say is keep buying the books because your answer will come in that. And that's a great question. You definitely have read In 100 Days and Fight For Us then, if you know who both those characters are. So that one. So we talked about From a little bit. Hopefully you're getting ready for season 3. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, keep reading Outdoor Fishing Adventures on Reunited, as I just bought it recently. Yeah. Definitely keep reading it. Then you got a long way to go, but the answer will be coming in this series. And you're on Reunited, so you're very early on in the Fight For Us series. But just keep reading. Definitely want to read around book, 17? Yeah, around book 17, and you'll get that answer for sure. So From, enjoy it, like it, recommend it. Silo, enjoy it, love it, recommend it. The Bear, it's not for everybody, but I enjoy it. I liked the way it's done. The second season is a little slow compared to what they did in the first season, in my opinion, but it really picks up midway through. And it's still good, but it picks up at the holiday episode on Christmas time. It's a little crazy episode for sure. I enjoy it too, so. Castigated Sin City. To be honest, I know the name Truman Capote, but I don't really know that much about him. So, but I don't think I'm the next anything. I'm just me. That's all I can be. That's the one thing. I don't try to be anybody else. I try to just be yourself, and I think that's what we need more of that too. Is just trying to be yourself and being a good thing. Rob K says I'm still waiting for Loki season 2. Me as well. I've only watched the first. I know Rob K. I know you're a Marvel fan like myself. My wife and I have only watched the first episode of Secret Invasion, and it's okay. It's hopefully it gets better. It's a little. I don't like to see old man Samuel L. Jackson. I don't really like. I'm just like man. It's just tough to watch him. He's kind of struggling there too. But we'll see. I like to see where it's going to go, for sure. Ed, really, Silo, would you say, with my taste, a lot of what you cover? Silo's good. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's an interesting story. It's like science fiction with whodunit mystery detective stuff. Crime drama thing. It's got a lot going for it. It's a different kind of show. I recommend Silo for sure. And all 10 episodes of the first season are out now on Apple TV Plus. My wife and I are on episode 7. We just watched episode 6 today, and I recommend it for sure. Jack, what do you think's going on with the PPP card in Walking the Universe? I brought back the details. I don't know. That's a good question, Jack. I hope. Well, the big thing I thought with the PPP card was I thought that's where they were going with it for the CRM with the 3 rings, and then they switched it to the three ring CRM. I think that's what they were doing with it, and so. The PPP card to come back up in Tails was a nice twist and a nice take, but I don't know what's the whole deal with that. We've only seen the 2 cards, and we have really no explanation with it. I would love for it to be explained, but I don't know if it will. Denise, thank you, says, I love your channel. Is Dead City a limited series? If so, will it be a season 2? AMC has not. It's actually renewed, Denise, for season 2. They renewed it right away before season 1 even came out. So Dead City is, I guess, considered a limited series. Its first season is 6 episodes. The second season, they should start filming this fall in New Jersey. I believe they're going to be back filming in. I don't know how the writer's strike, if or will affect anything, but it could slow things down with that. And but I think so. Lauren Cohan, and I don't know if Jeffrey Dean Morgan has said anything, but I know Lauren Cohan wants to have multiple seasons of this show. I enjoy where it's going. I don't know how it can last with the whole Herschel, Croat, Negan thing for more than 2 seasons. After that, it's got to be a major twist of things. So I don't know if it'll explore New Babylon more. It will explore more of the saviors that, like the Croat, if there's more people coming after Negan. I don't know how, because to me, Negan is the best part of the show. Like, I love Lauren Cohan. I love Maggie. I think she's great. I think she's good in the universe and all that stuff too. But Negan really carries the show, in my opinion. It's like 75% Negan. I just watched episode 3 again. He's funny. Negan carries so much of it, and a character that's connected with Negan is Ginny. She's connected with the episode and the flashbacks of this and that. Negan with the tribe, Luther, the Croat, all that stuff. It's just, I just think Negan more Negan the better, and it's really helping with it too. But yeah, we should get at least a second season of Dead City, and I like where it is so far. It's entertaining. I don't know how many viewers or ratings it's getting. I don't care. I'm not in charge of that, but I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go to. So. So it says, ignore the messages and stay on path. I feel dumb trying with this thing. Loss of jump. Just explain Silo when you get a chance, please. So Silo, I'll go over Silo kind of quick. So Silo is, you start the first episode. If you want to go watch my one video about the first episode, it'll explain more. But Silo is like, it's, I guess, a missile silo. We don't know who built the silo. We know it's been there for supposedly 140 years. There's a government entity called Judicial that runs things. They have a sheriff and a police department that does things. And they got a generator that's making all this stuff here. They got a bunch of food. They have, I don't know if it's like 10,000 people live there. People are dying. People want answers. People want stuff there. There's an IT department that connects things, which is kind of interesting. Like, people, they don't have elevators. They have to take the stairs that are in the center column of everything. And there's like, I don't know, 120, 170 levels. Like, it's ridiculous. And there's a hierarchy of upper, middle, lower, like a higher society, middle class, lower society, poor, rich, middle class. You see it in there too. And they've done a good job of highlighting things there. And stuff happens. I don't want to give anything away. I want you to watch the show that draws you in to be like, who's actually running this place? What are they hiding from the people that live there? What's actually the truth of this silo and these people? And why can't they go outside of the silo? What actually happened? Are they on Earth? Are they not? I don't know. We don't even know where they are. Why can't they leave? And if people leave, why do they not come back? So it's definitely something that I enjoy watching it, and they've answered stuff every episode, so it doesn't leave you not knowing stuff, but they build more questions and answer some things, and more questions and answer, and question, answer. When the questions outweigh the answers, or there's way more questions than answers in shows like From or Walking Dead or whatever, Silo or whatever, it's annoying. Because I want a fine line of question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. I want like a fine amount of there too. I want it, if it's 60-40 or 70-30 at times, I hope it'd be pretty cool too. So, Jonathan Water, Q&A. How long have you been a YouTuber? When do you think you will stop? And do you think you can ever to be too old to be 1PS? I'll be 30 this January. So no, you're never too old for anything. Never stop learning, never stop growing. Keep doing it to the day you die. Keep enjoying life, having fun, learning stuff about life and yourself and everything on there too. I started, what was it, like 9 years ago? Is that what it was? I don't even know now. 2015, I think. So 8 years ago, whatever it was, like, so coming up on 9 years ago next January. So 8 years ago, I started doing full-time, or not full-time, but more involvement with YouTube. And it's something that I don't know when I'm going to stop, because I like talking about stuff and I like to transition from things. And the Walking Dead universe has still got me motivated, and From's got me motivated in other shows and other avenues. And it's nice to just bond and connect with people. And that's kind of what I'm about, community, growing and doing that. But you're never too old for anything. Maybe to like things health-wise, I guess. But from a YouTube channel, no. So I was older than 30 when I started YouTube, more involved with it. So if you start when you're 30, that's a good time to start. Or it's a good time to start whenever. You can start doing anything, especially with a YouTube channel. It's going to take time, and people aren't going to find your channel right away, but be consistent, improve on things, keep working on it, and have fun with it. Because ultimately it's your channel, and you got to do what you got to do, for sure. Outdoor fishing adventures. I hope that Fight for Us will be adapted into a TV show someday. I hope that's part of it. I would love to. That is an ultimate goal. That's like, I would love for it to be a show on Amazon Prime. just because the book series is on paperback and digital format on Kindle through Amazon. So if my books are through Amazon, I would love for it to be an Amazon Prime show, just because it connects with that, and just they gave me abilities to publish a story, and I think it'd be pretty amazing for that too. James asked me, what's my opinion on Creed 3? It's okay. I wish Rocky was in it for 5 seconds watching the title fight with Adonis and his friend. I forget the guy's name, but I wish you saw him. But it's an okay movie. It's the first movie without Rocky involved in this universe, and they did a decent job. I like Michael B. Jordan, and so he did a good job. Tim Simmons asks Q&A, I'm wondering if Pearlie will end up helping Negan and Maggie against the Croat. Thoughts? I think so. I think Armstrong is going to see... I think Negan's going to save Armstrong. And so he's going to be like, well, you did this and you did that, but you saved my life, so get out of here or something. I don't know. But I think Armstrong is not going to... Armstrong can't... Negan and Maggie are more important to the Walking Dead universe than Armstrong, the Croat, the Tribe, Tommaso, whoever, anything like that too. So, but I think Armstrong is going to do something like that too. Carol, Q&A, Maggie's already just hanging on as far as popularity is concerned. Don't you think if she burns this child's toy, Negan will lose all respect for her and refuse to help her? So let's get into it, Carol. And I think so. I don't think she's going to burn the toy. So let's get into Dead City, season 1, episode 3. So spoiler warning. Stop watching now if you don't want to know spoilers. So Dead City so far is pretty good. And there's a theory going around that's saying that Maggie is lying to Negan about what the Croat did to her community, that Negan's going to be in danger because Maggie's going to trade Negan for Herschel. Maggie is going to said whatever she had to say to get Negan on board to join him. Jack says, do you think Dwight goes to Dead City season 2? I would love to see Dwight be involved with Dead City. Have the Negan story arc, savior stuff come around, and I think that'd be a good thing for Dwight to show up and come around. So is Maggie going to do something to Negan? I think there's more to it. I don't think Negan was I think Maggie was going to say whatever she needed to say to get Negan involved with it. And the fact that he was being, chased by the New Babylon Marshals helped too. But Maggie is, I don't know, she's okay. But Negan, so the episode starts with a flashback of Ginny in the woods. She's got a putter and she's looking for her dinosaur. She comes across a walker that's a jump scare that's in a wooden stake through his back and coming out his chest. Negan comes and kills the walker. And Negan's pissed because he's like, if you're in danger, I need to know. You need to make sounds. You need to yell. You need to talk. You need to communicate. And it's kind of annoying that Ginny doesn't talk. It's not that big a deal, but it's kind of annoying. Like, she doesn't even try to. She just gives little facial expressions. And she whistles at the end. Okay, good. So she can communicate a little bit. So it's a flashback to then. We see that Ginny actually goes to the water, the Hudson River that separates New Jersey and New York. And she looks around of how she's going to actually get to New York. So she finds a cooler. And she gets into the cooler, like no joke, a cooler that has no lid on it. And the next scene is her paddling with a piece of wood inside the cooler, which feels really cheesy and hokey, like Fear the Walking Dead and the hot air balloon beer bottle. But she gets across to the city and she goes to the city. So later on in the episode, let me just talk about the Ginny stuff. So later on in the episode, she is running through the streets of New York and she gets grabbed by a walker as she falls down on the street. Her dinosaur falls into the street and she runs to safety. And then there's a flashback again with Negan because, Ginny in the woods is looking for her dinosaur. And Negan killed the guy that was trying to kill Negan and Ginny. Or the walker that came after Ginny was a guy that was going to hurt Negan and Ginny. And so the guy was a walker that gets killed. Negan recognizes him. There's a bag on his arm. He takes the bag. It turns out that the dinosaur is in the bag the whole time. And the dinosaur means a lot to Ginny. Ginny likes Negan, sees him as a father figure, and cares about him. The dinosaur got ripped out of the bottom. And so Negan wraps some stuff around it and does surgery on it and makes it better. And it's a nice, caretaker, father-daughter relationship kind of thing. And you see Negan cares about Ginny and cares about things. And so Ginny drops the dinosaur in New York. This lady who goes out scouting things, she looks like a homeless person, but she kills the walker that's in the street with a ski pole, picks up the dinosaur and takes it to the restaurant that Tommaso, Amaya, and the rest of the tribe are in. Maggie sees the dinosaur and asks where she got that. And the lady's like, the street. Where else would I get it, stupid? I'm in the street doing this here. So the lady gives the dinosaur to Maggie. Maggie, at the end of the episode, takes the dinosaur to a trash can and is about to set it on fire. Ginny is hiding behind a vehicle, looks through the vehicle, and sees Maggie going to light it on fire. It stops right before Maggie lights it on fire, and that's how the episode ends. So I don't think Maggie's going to light it on fire. And in the flashback, Negan tells Ginny, if you're in trouble, whistle, and I'll be there for you. My wife couldn't really do much. She whistled, and so she couldn't talk. She couldn't really do much at times. So she whistled, and that's how they communicated. So Ginny whistles. Great. She knows how to do it. I think she's going to whistle. And I think Negan's going to come and, Ginny, and they're going to take Ginny in. Because in the trailer for next week's episode, you see Maggie with Ginny and the rest of the tribe and people and stuff going against the Croat, basically. So I don't think Maggie's actually going to light the dinosaur on fire too. So you get to see Madison Square Garden with a bunch of walkers outside of it. And Negan and Maggie and the tribe are looking out, and they're seeing all the walkers. And they're like, well, you just got to go through that to get in Madison Square Garden. Okay, cool. And you see it's a parade float that's like a turkey. And Negan makes the joke, which is hilarious. He's like, yeah, the parade's looking a little rough this year because it's a parade float. And, Negan's just got his way about him, and it's just kind of funny. So they decide what are they going to do. And there's only one person got out of there, and it was by luck. So Tommaso evidently was captured by the Croat, was being tortured because he's got scars on his back. And so he wasn't going to give information and wasn't going to do this and wasn't going to do that. But he got out somehow. He went through the tunnels and went through this. And he tells the story about his grandfather. He used to know about the tunnels. And when they put in stuff for the trains and everything there too, they thought they got rid of the old tunnels, but they didn't. They were still there. They just made new tunnels, which they probably really did. So the whole thing about it is that Tommaso was captured. They know how to get in. They're setting up a way, and they're going to get there. So Luther doesn't like that. Oh, so before that, they have the deer thing. So Amaya has the antlers, and she's smacking the antlers together to have two bucks like they're fighting. There's a CGI deer that actually looks pretty good. It's not like other CGI deers that look pretty bad in the Walking Dead universe. Tommaso gets up, shoots it with his weapon. Luther is cutting up the deer and just getting food for everyone that's there too. So the idea is that Luther does not like Negan. Luther puts beeswax on a couple of his cuts on his hand. Negan asks if he can have some. Luther says no. And so, it just comes up time and time again that Tommaso, Amaya, Luther, they think that Herschel is dead because the Croat's terrible. There's no reason that Herschel should still be alive. And that'd be pretty crappy if he died after all this story. But we haven't seen Herschel really with the Croat except for the first episode. So he's probably alive, and I doubt it would be. I doubt it would make sense for him to die. That'd be pretty dumb. But So Maggie's kind of worried about things the entire episode. And it's definitely something that I'm excited to see what happens the rest of the season. But Luther is like the big black guy, muscular guy, protective guy of Tommaso and Maya on there too. And he don't like Negan. So at the end of the episode, Negan and Luther have an altercation. And Luther knows that Negan is a wanted man because of the wanted poster that Maggie gave him, or the flyer, and out of the bag. So Luther's like, no, you're going to leave tonight, because Luther doesn't want to do the plan to go in the sewers, to go to Madison Square Garden, and to get there too. So, yeah, he wasn't really a good butcher. He just kind of cut the stomach out. It wasn't a really good thing. And they had like a stew and stuff with bowls, and they didn't really have like good pieces of the deer. They didn't really, it really wasn't like, I don't know, the venison meat really wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't really a good thing. But so Luther tells Negan, this is at the end of the episode, that you're going to leave tonight. And Negan realizes, like, okay, Luther is not just going to let me leave. We're going to have a problem here. So he tries to walk by him, and Luther's like, nah, that ain't going to happen. So then Negan understands what's going on here. But before that, he grabs a cheese grater off of, a table in the kitchen. He reaches back, tries to grab a pan, and swings it at Luther. Luther blocks and knocks it down. Luther does the bear hug, which is a risky move. He grabs his arms. Negan grabs the cheese grater and rakes it over Luther's right eye, over his forehead, and that would kill. That would hurt so bad. Luther's like, falls back, gets his head caught on like a pipe that's like cut, bent. It's sticking up a little bit. So Luther's like, gah! And gets his brain stem, lower part of the brain. And Negan's like, crap. So he pushes his head down and kills Luther. I don't know what that's going to mean for the group. Like, are they going to find Luther that way? Like, there's no way that Tommaso and the tribe and all the people are going to help Negan and Maggie and whatever if Negan killed Luther. Like, that's not going to be cool. So I don't know what happens with Negan. Does Negan have to run away from the group? Is he out on his own? Does he have to do something there too? Does he cover it up? Like, what is he going to do? It's a big thing. So you get to see the Croat and the Croats people. They bring in Armstrong because, again, he got captured last episode in the netting. They bring him back to Madison Square Garden. They bring him in. You get to see how they are using walkers to make methane gas, to make liquid gas that they can make fuel with. So that's how they're driving around with these cars. They're using walkers and the methane, for that. So, which is pretty cool because the Croat was a scientist. Alternative fuels or alternative energy is what he used to do, which is pretty cool. And so they have Armstrong in one of the suites boxes inside Madison Square. It's not Madison Square Garden. It's some other arena. But you have him handcuffed to a thing. Some guy brings in 2 things of food. Tim says, see, these episodes are so dark for me, phone. It wasn't until a third watching I see Luther had something drove into his head because I was a cheese grater. No, the cheese grater was cut across his forehead, so he's bleeding. And when he falls back, it's like a piece of copper pipe that was probably like a gas line or connected with one of the stoves or something there inside the kitchen that was sticking up. So it's a piece of metal of copper pipe that broke off, and it's sticking up a little bit, and he falls on it like perfectly on the back of his head. So that's what he falls on. So the Croat comes into the box, the suite in the arena. The previous guy comes in and puts the food down with the covers over top of it. And Croat wants to know information from Armstrong. Armstrong doesn't give him anything. And so the Croat's like, look, I got to find out if you're a threat or you're this or that. He takes off the food, the top of the food, and there's like a grub or a maggot or whatever. It's a bug in there. So it's rotten meat. The guy, all I could think of was tainted meat. So this pisses the Croat off. Croat's like, this could kill me. This could kill people. Bacteria is in it. It's just terrible. So the guy's like, it probably wasn't even him. It was probably somebody else For some reason, the Croat wants to put the key to the handcuffs that are on Armstrong inside this guy's mouth. Doesn't really fit, but it fits later on in the story. But he puts it into his mouth. We don't see him swallow it, but evidently he did. The Croat kills the guy by smashing his throat or face or neck or whatever into the railing, the thing that's in the box. Kills the guy, tosses him overboard. Armstrong is put into the octagon after smoking or smelling some, like a gas mask thing. So he breathes in the methane gas that kind of knocks him out a little bit. They handcuff him. They put his arms around a pole that's in the center of the octagon. The walker that was just turned into a walker that the Croat killed, the guy in the suite that swallowed the key, goes in the arena or goes in the octagon. Armstrong defends himself. He ends up getting the upper hand, puts the handcuff chain around the guy's neck, decapitates him, which would be really tough to do, especially of a walker that just turned. His neck, I don't know how. It'd have to be really sharp to do that. This is not like a chainsaw. It's that. But either way, he decapitates him. People are pissed. They throw bottles into the octagon. Armstrong cuts open the walker, feels around in his guts, finds the key, which was like crazy. He finds the handcuff key, undoes his key, does this and that. More walkers are put in there. He reaches for his shoe, but there's the note from his brother in there. He doesn't want to take off his shoe, but he takes off his other shoe, knocks out the other walkers, smashes the other walkers, face with the boot on his hand. He should have just used his legs and kicked them, but he uses it, kills the walker. The Croat is like, what's up with this guy? So it was a test, basically. And so Armstrong goes back into the suite. They take his boot off and read the note. It's a note from his brother that says that he's basically giving up, and it really bothers Armstrong. So Armstrong tells him, "It's just me. I went here. If I'm looking for somebody, what's all this trouble for? Negan." Oh, and the Croat's like, so Negan's here. You know that Negan's here. So he got the information about Negan and this and that, and so that's setting up that whole thing. So Carol brings up a good point here about, where were you, Carol? Carol says, Q&A, was Negan's explanation of where Annie is satisfying to you? So it was okay. It was an explanation, so we'll take it. I don't know how great it was, but we got some answers of that too. So Negan, right after Maggie, Luther says, your son's already dead. And that bothers Maggie. And Negan sticks up for Maggie and says, look, it's been a long day. Let's separate. Let's go do this. So Maggie worries about things. She goes into another part of the restaurant that they're hiding out in. She looks at the tin that's in there, and there's pictures of the Green family, Herschel and Maggie and her son Herschel. And then there's the pocket watch in there. And then we see that there's a picture of Glenn. Somebody drew a very good picture of Glenn. And she talks with Negan, and Negan brings a hat to Maggie and says, look, I know Herschel used to wear a hat or likes hats. There's a New York City hat here. We'll give it to him when we see him, And so Maggie says that the last time she talked with Herschel when the Croat came, she said that Herschel was stupid because Herschel wasn't going to hide, and he got a shovel and a brick and didn't do anything and blah, blah, blah. And Herschel was like, get off my back for once, being a pissed off teenager. When your mom is just... Maggie could be a pain in the butt, probably. She's a single parent, and I sympathize with that because my parents got divorced when I was 2, and I felt bad for Maggie and anyone out there. It's tough. It's difficult. It's difficult to raise kids by yourself, I would assume, and it's difficult to do anything without help. Even though you have Hilltop and you have stuff there, or the community, whatever it is, Hilltop 2.0, whatever they're calling this place, you have a community. It takes a village to raise a kid, But Maggie's said that it's been difficult. So Negan tells the story about what happened to Annie. So Annie went out to do some trading, and she didn't come back. So Negan knew that was bad. So he went out, and he found Annie, who was robbed and beaten and maybe other things that were terrible. So Negan finds the 5 guys that did that to Annie, and he beats them up and I guess kills them. So that caused the problems that Negan did that to these guys, so they had to be on the run. So Negan put Joshua, I guess is their son, and Annie on a boxcar train thing, I guess, to Missouri. And Negan said he'll be on the next one right behind them. And he never left. So I guess Annie and their son, Joshua, which has got to be a couple years old now, I'm guessing, because of the time jumps, went to Missouri, or at least got on a train and went away. They get off the train. Did they make it to Missouri? Are they somewhere else? Will we see them at the end? Will we see them next season? I don't know. That could be future seasons of Dead City. But we got an answer about Joshua, their son, Negan and Annie's son, and Annie was still alive. So they survived. But I don't know why Negan is not wearing the wedding ring then. Is there more to the story or not? I don't know, but at least we got some answers, too, for sure. Outdoor Fishing Adventure says, I would definitely keep on reading your books. I can't wait for the book After Atonement to be published. I think that I'll buy one as well. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Outdoor Fishing Adventures, and the series is going to be there for a long time, and I'm excited for you guys to catch up to it, and everyone else to check it out, too. The Who. Do you think Negan and Maggie will get romantically involved? The show will be sick if that happens. I do not. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all. But I don't want to see a romance between them two. Colt, Brian, have you watched the show called Snowfall? I've been binging it recently, and I'm on season 5. It's really good. No, I know Snowfall. I think is that a Georgia show? It's about drugs or something. I've seen something about it. I think it's FX, but I have not seen it too. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, how well or unwell do you think Little Herschel is trained combat? I think he has no skills to fight, because when Maggie came in, she said, you missed weapons training today, that so-and-so brought out the bow staffs, and he wasn't there, and he didn't care, and it's probably he doesn't want to do anything. So they could have done anything they want with Herschel, and they still can, but I would think that if someone killed my father, I would want to protect my mom and protect myself just in case something happened again. And maybe he will. Maybe this will be a rude awakening to him if he survives. But I don't know. It just seems like Herschel is taking things lightly of the dangers that are out there in the world. And now this could be some things you need a slap in the face. Sometimes you need as a kid, the universe to slap you in the face or something, a wake-up call, is what they say. Not an actual slap in the face, a metaphorical slap in the face, but a wake-up call. That's true. Game Dev Patty says, Negan may not be wearing his wedding ring to avoid people knowing he has someone to lose. That's true, but if she's gone, what difference does it make? If she's in Missouri, she's not there, But I see the point. That's all right. Wilson says, recommend a series called Rabbit Hole. Really good. Is that the one with Kiefer Sutherland? I think so, on Paramount. Because I recommend that show too. Rabbit Hole's pretty good. It comes together really nicely. It's another what's actually happening in this show. So what else did I talk about in the episode? That's really kind of everything that happened in Dead City Season 1, Episode 3. The Daryl sneak peek, the Kiefer Sutherland one. It's on Paramount. Rabbit Hole with the guy from Game of Thrones, Tywin Lannister. It's good. I recommend that. I talked about a little bit about it, months ago when it came out, but it's a good one too. Jonathan Water, Q&A. What's your favorite line in Dead City so far? I personally love the the parade's looking a little rough this year. I like that one. But yeah, that's pretty much right there too. Let me talk a little bit about the Daryl sneak peek, and then I'll finish with that too. So the Daryl sneak peek came out. We did a breakdown of it. There's not really much to break down. Daryl is on a boat. He comes ashore, and he goes to a marina, and he goes into a boat. He has a bag where he has some stuff in there. He has a radio that actually calls somebody on. We don't know who he's trying to reach, but he says that he tried to reach people. He was looking for something. All he found was trouble. He's not done looking for I guess he's looking for Rick. He doesn't say that, but he's not done looking. And he's from the Commonwealth. That's in America or the United States or what he says. But yeah, it's interesting. He says he's from the Commonwealth, not Alexandria. He's from the Commonwealth. And so he puts that out there, the Commonwealth, over the radio, so we don't know who's listening. And then he picks up a harpoon out of a walker that's at the marina, and then he just walks through the countryside, through this, on the train tracks. We see it says Marseille in the Hollywood sign type of lettering, but it says Marseille, so he's in France. And then he just walks around a little bit more. There's nobody else in there. There's no walkers besides dead walkers. And then he goes to, I guess, another marina type building. And then he goes inside, and that's it. And that's really the whole sneak peek. It's not really a full-blown trailer, but yeah, there's not really much to break down. I have a breakdown video of the walkers that you see in there that I'll post tomorrow that I'm wondering if they're variants or not. But yeah, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen with that show. And I think if any show is going to have the variants, I think it's going to be the Daryl show. One, because it's France, and I think it would help that show out with Daryl too. So that's true. Jeannie says Annie might have Negan's ring to give him when he gets to her in Missouri, a symbolic promise to catch up there. That's a good point. That's a good point. I like that. But it just hasn't been answered. There's just been no talk about it yet. The Who, do you think Negan will be reunited with Rick? I would like to see that. I would like to see Nick. That's like their relationship name. Nick. Negan and Rick come back together in some way. Because in the comics, it's really good when Negan saves Rick and it comes full circle where that happens. And I would like that to happen at some point too. I think that'd be really cool. And Constipation City says, I met Kiefer Sutherland when he was with Jamie Hertz. We all double dated him in Las Vegas. Kiefer Sutherland, I don't know if I like Kiefer better or his dad, Donald. I don't know. They both have the same kind of acting chops, and they've both been in some really good movies and some good stuff. So I don't know. That's a good question. Who do you like better, Kiefer or Donald? Donald, the dad. So, all right, guys, that's my time. That's my hour. It goes quick. I don't know if I'll be back next Sunday. I have something going on time-wise. I'll have to see if it's going to work out. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Happy 4th of July. I know it's in 2 days, but it's 4th of July weekend. Be careful with fireworks. Be careful all that craziness. We always hear every year about fireworks injuries and stuff like that too. Don't end up like anybody that's injured themselves. And I'll be back, hopefully, if not next Sunday, 2 Sundays from that. And once we get more information and news, we'll be talking about it here on live streams and also on our videos. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Stay safe. And as always, tell them Daryl. But I'll be back in 2 weeks, guys. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Keep working hard. I'll be back. See you guys.